Yeah, I was thinking about this on Tuesday after class, which is,
There we go.
so it's nice if we can take a little moment to sort of say hello and see each other, right? Yeah. So if you guys don't have it on gallery view, maybe take a moment for gallery view. How are your bodies doing? Jeez. Yeah, we're all jealous of that dream house. Oh my God, Stacy, Harper sent the skeleton with a tiny little bottle. Unbelievable.
No. Yeah, she thought that he couldn't have snacks without a drink. So she thought one of her baby bottles needed to be sacrificed to go with the skeleton to Los Angeles.
She's really got a good plan there because that's true.
Well, she thinks ahead, you know, what can I say? She's going to be camped out, so that's just what's happening right now. Hi, everyone.
Well, it is so good to see everybody. How are your bodies? Some sort of gesture. How are you? Sleepy? Okay. Kind of a robot. All right. So I was thinking, let's just start a little bit differently today. And yeah, it is so beautiful to see your faces. So for those of you just joining for the first time, I'm gonna do a mix of demonstrating, and then I'll try to always remember when to say join in, or some of it I'll just say join and you can follow me and I'll speak you through things. And we'll have some moments where I'm checking in, giving corrections, and if questions come up for you, please just let me know, unmute, and we will address them. Okay? So good to see all of you. All right, so let me just make sure I've got this. There we go. Okay, so let's come down. Well, let's come to a parallel. And you can do this with me looking up as we need. So I'm going to fold forward in parallel, take a little plie, and I'm just going to rock myself out, taking my time, coming into a little plank. And from here, I'm going to take myself, hips up towards the downward dog. Knees are still soft. And I'm going to swivel my hips to one side and deepen my plie. And then I'm going to shoot back forward to that plank. Taking my hips up nice and high, knees are soft, swivel my hips to the other side. And then shoot forward into a parallel, into a plank. Plie as the hips come high. Swivel the pelvis, swivel on the feet to the right, deepening the plie. And really elongating left side of trunk. And then shifting over my hands. And again, pelvis comes back to the left and forward over my hands. I'm going to show it once from the side, but keep going. If you have questions, you can look up. So knees are coming to twist to the left, and then I swing forward to my plank. Knees twist to the right, and I swing forward. Let's take that about 2 more times. At whatever pace feels good and useful to you today. And hips moving back and high and forward. 1 more time each side. And forward. And last time, hips swiveling to the left and coming forward. Quick note. I'm not sure, Jeriana, are you here? Yes, okay, awesome. So note for Jeriana, when you are taking your plank, this is true for a lot of people actually, watch the tendency for chest to sink towards floor and shoulder blades to wing towards ceiling. Have a sense that you're pressing the floor away and keeping your shoulder blades wide on your back. So let's all just come to hands and knees for 1 moment. And we're gonna take our left hand to our right shoulder and let your chest sink. And notice how your left shoulder drops towards the floor, right shoulder blade sticks to the ceiling. And now press into the floor and bring your left shoulder blade level with your right. And take that again, letting the chest sink. And pressing into the floor, and your 2 shoulders come level.
And one more time, sink and press into the floor, feeling the two shoulders come level. Right elbow is straight, spine is long, and push down just a little bit more, but do not round your back. Now bring your left hand down without changing any of the work on the right. Step your feet back and take that plank and just hold here, feeling the difference in the right and left sides. And then come back down, and without letting your right shoulder drop, take your right hand to your left shoulder. Let your right shoulder sink, and then press down to level the two shoulders. Two more times, right shoulder sinks, and press down to level the two shoulders. And one more time, right shoulder sinks, press down to level the two shoulders, and then press into left hand a little bit more keenly, lengthen through crown of head, lengthen through tail, feeling that extra bit of work in left arm, left shoulder girdle. Bring right hand down without changing anything and step the legs back again. Hold here.
It feels nice.
And then come down and rest. Okay, we're gonna take this, come down to your side, your right side. I'm gonna show something. So Jason had a question the other day. When I'm taking, we're gonna build this in. We're gonna take flexion and extension, that's number one. Number two will be flexion with rotation and extension with rotation. And he asked whether or not this hand in that extension with rotation, if my bottom arm is off the floor. I tend to keep it on the floor. There's no reason to try to lift it. So you're just lengthening out. So I just wanted to give that note before we begin. Okay, you know what I've done? Hang on, I can be a little more helpful. There we go. All right, so let's come down to lying on our right side. And from here, curl into a tiny little ball, bringing the crown of your head towards your knees. And then lengthen out, extending, bringing fingers and toes away from navel. And again, flex, coming into a tiny little ball, making it small, lots of effort. And lengthen out, fingers and toes reaching away from center. And curl in, crown of head to knees. And once you get into that tight little ball, contract a little bit more, flex a little bit more. And lengthen out, fingers and toes reaching way away from center. More and more and more. And last time, curling in and flexing, making it really, really tiny. And lengthen out. And extend, rolling over onto your left side. I'm going to change my orientation. We're going to take the same. So curling knees to nose, and then lengthening out, distributing that extension through hips and all the segments of your spine. And curling in, tiny little ball, and contract a little harder, flex a little deeper, and lengthen out. Extension, radiating energy through fingers and toes. And curling in, flex, tiny, 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 make it smaller and smaller. And lengthen out and extend, fingers and toes reach away from center. And last time, curling in, really small, really, really small. And lengthen out and extend. And coming onto your back, release the effort, rest for a moment. Breathe here. Releasing your weight. And rolling to your right side. Curl into a tiny little ball and then twist your chest up to the ceiling. So you're looking over your left hip. And then extend, reaching fingers and toes away from midline, and rotate your chest towards the floor, looking back behind you. And again, curl in tiny, make it really small, a lot of effort, lifting head and shoulders as high as you can, and then lengthen out, turning your chest towards the floor, fingers and toes reaching away. And two more times, curling in, flexing, and lengthening out, rotating your chest, lengthening through the throat up towards chin. And one more time. Really small and tight. And lengthen out. And extend.
And from here, we're going to roll over to our left side and take the same thing. So on left side, curling into a tiny little ball and then flexing in rotation, looking over right hip and lengthen out. Turn chest towards floor, fingers and toes reach away from midline. And curling in. Then make it smaller and smaller, knees really draw into your chest. And lengthen out and rotate your chest towards the floor. Reach out a little further, 2 more. Curling in and flex, really small. And lengthen out and extend more and more and more. And one more time, curling in, flex. And lengthen out and extend. Lots of reach through fingers and toes. And coming this onto your back here. Release the effort. Feel the work you've done. Take a couple of breaths. And we're going to take our legs into parallel, hips distance apart. And in this position, soften your knees just slightly. Curl your tail under to try to draw your navel down to the floor so your sit bones are curling up. And now engage the hamstrings to curl the sit bones up more. Press into the heels and let your pelvis just float off the floor and inch your tail. And keeping this tuck, the pelvis really lifted up high, we're going to turn out. And then come back to parallel without losing that height. Externally rotate your legs, feel your sit bone, your glutes engage, your rotators engage. And then come back to parallel, keeping that tuck. And take this 2 more times, turning out so my pelvis is just barely off the floor. And parallel. And 1 more time, turning out. And parallel. Roll all the way down and release. And curl your head off the floor and your knees into your chest. Just engaging the muscles along the front line of your body for a second. Everything working in this position. And then lengthen everything back down to the floor. We're going to find that parallel again. Take the hands behind the head and lift your head and shoulders up, engaging your abdominals. So you're going to come to stand on these low ribs, rolling your chest towards your pelvis. And from here, we're going to bend the knees in and side bend to the right, lengthening left waist. And then coming through center, side bend to the left. Keeping head and shoulders lifted, going right and then left. Noticing how this is going to give you some sensation along lengthening sideways, as you may have experienced as well in that first thing we did in that downward dog with the knees bending and swiveling. And so we take lateral flexion right and lateral flexion left. Head and shoulders lifted to create a little bit of effort. And left. And right. And left. And a couple more. Right. And left. 2 more. Right. And left. And now staying on the right side, just engaging the abdominals, increase that lift here. Notice the asymmetry of effort in your abdominal wall. And take a rotation to the left and to the right, keeping that sort of candy cane shape of your body. And right. And again, left. And right. Left. Right. Left. Right. 1 more. Left. And right. Keep the head and shoulders lifted, come through midline, side bend left. And here, just lift a little higher. Again, feeling the asymmetry of this effort. And then rotating chest to the right, and then to the left. Right, left, right, left. 3 more. Right, and left. Feeling this work begin to accumulate. And 1 more. And left. And center yourself. Come all the way down. And rest. Take a couple of breaths here. Releasing that effort in your abdomen. And rotate your legs to parallel. Now we're going to take that supine bridge again. So now you're seeing it from another angle. Scooping the tail under, engaging the abdominals. Sit bones curl up towards backs of femurs, and pelvis lifts just the tiniest bit. So it's just a little curl up with the hips. From here, I'm going to lift my head and shoulders to look at my feet and bring my hands together off the floor overhead. I'm going to circle my pelvis up to the right, so join me, circling up and over, and it's actually to the left, but it doesn't matter. Take 4 of these. And then reverse, circling 1 and 2, trying to maintain parallel, 3 and 4, center and release. A lot of work for abdominals, hamstring, anterior neck, which all of us I'm sure need right now with all this computer time. From this position, orient yourself so that you have space to do a couple of spinal extension rolls. So I'm going to engage my abdominals, and I'm going to start on my right side, rolling towards you. I'm going to lengthen out and smoothly come to my abdomen, leading with my head and shoulders to the left. I'm going to come all the way to my back and then reverse, rolling to the left, taking my extension and side bending to the right to come all the way onto my back. And repeat, rolling right, lengthening out. Thinking about this as something that lengthens radius on the horizon, not up. And then side bending a little left to smoothly come to my back. And to the left, and revolving onto my abdomen, and revolving back to my side, and back. Twice more. To the right, and smoothly lengthening out, coming left. Noticing when you find contact with the floor, and to the left, lengthening out, taking that extension, to the right, and coming back and release. I'm just going to check in real quick and see if I have any questions from anyone. And, all right, oops. Questions? Nope. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna move to standing. We're gonna do a little first check-in with being on our feet here. Okay. So finding the space in which you have room to take a pass, and just taking, as we've been doing, an easy crawl. So stepping forward, you can join in with me when you're ready. Big step forward, letting the knee fall in line with the nipple, rather than letting it track out to come around. And traveling back, pressing with the hands, feeling as you press with the hand, the effort transmit into the shoulder girdle. When you come to your diagonal corner, just take a little roll up in your parallel. Hinging forward, plie, softening down to take this again. Big curl forward, big step. Reaching your arms long. And then coming back. Finding your parallel and checking to see if your preference is to have a wide parallel or a narrow parallel. Give yourself an opportunity here to try both. Take the feet wide, releasing the head. Notice what the sensation is in your hip joints, and then bring them narrow. And roll up with a narrow base. Again, one more time, rolling forward, knees are soft, taking that big crawl, long steps. And then back. Party push from the hands. Finding that parallel and rolling up once more. Coming all the way down to hands and knees. I believe we did this on Tuesday. We're just one time going to take a pass across the room, taking our spinal extension and flexion in a crawl. So joining in, lengthening out, fingers and toes reach away from center. And again, this is a place to check out whether or not you're letting your gesture shoulder sink. Press into support arm to get that length. Knee curls forward. And as you reach out, you're radiating energy through fingers, toes, and crown of head. So this movement brings together a lot of elements that we've touched on already. Curling in, transferring weight from one hand to the next. Using your thrust, your downward thrust through your supporting limbs to keep your shoulder girdle nicely engaged. As you go backwards, try to get the sense that you're pressing through some slightly dense substance. So make the air give you a little resistance. Take that leg back smoothly and slowly. And when you complete your pass, tuck your toes under and just roll up to stand. We're going to take, adding on a little bit, coming down onto the floor. We're going to take the legs in parallel and hands come behind the head. From here, I'm going to lift my head and shoulders up, take that side bend to the right, and then lengthen out, coming onto my right side, revolving this time all the way to my abdomen, turning my chest up to the right, and then reversing, side bending a little right to come back, and turn my chest to the left. Bending the knees in, coming over to the left, and lengthening out, and revolving, coming all the way to my belly, and turn my chest up to the left. Reverse, and coming, drawing the navel back down to the floor as I come back. Feet come over to the right, and repeat. Lengthening out, and smoothly coming to the belly, turning the chest up to the right. Side bending right to revolve backwards, navel drawing down to the floor. Side bending left, lengthening out through head and toes, and slowly coming to the belly, turn up and back. Side bending left to revolve back, navel coming down, and knees come in to go to the right. I'm going to come and see how you guys are doing. Taking this to the right, full revolve over, and taking that spinal extension on your abdomen, rotating your chest up to the right. Good. And keep going. Moving over to the left, lengthening out through crown of head, elbows, toes. And good. Working at your own pace. Good. Keep going. And great. Almost there. One more to the left, I believe. And revolving back, drawing the navel down, and come to center, and rest. Release back down to the floor. Okay. And any questions? No, great. Okay. So coming back to our backs again, we're going to take this supine bridge once more. So this time I'm going to scoop the tail under, giving you a slightly different angle to look at it. Scooping the tail under, lifting the hips up. Hands come together overhead, and I'm going to side bend to the right, side bend to the left. From another angle, what you'll see is as I take this, my hips are displacing a little bit. Shoulders and pelvis moving side to side. So if I were standing, I would be going like this. So this is a straight up ode to Irene Dowd. So coming down onto your back. I have a question. Jesus. Okay. So coming all the way down onto your back, taking your hands together overhead, scoop the tail under and lift your hips up. Side bend right and left, right and left, right, left, right, left. Two more, and the last one, and centering. The pelvis lifted, and bring, if your feet are wide, you're gonna wanna bring them nice and narrow. Shift your weight to your right foot, and bend your left knee, lift it up. Bring your left knee down. Shift your weight to your left foot. Keep the right hip from dropping towards the floor. Bend your right knee and draw the right foot off the floor. And then bring it back down. Notice if they drop, my right hip dropped. Come down, take a rest. Shake it out. Breathe. Hello, hamstrings. And we're gonna take this 2 more times. Scooping the tail under, rolling the pelvis up. And feet are going to be narrow. It's going to be very helpful if they're not too far apart. Tail comes off the floor slightly in a tuck. If you're feeling this in your low back, come lower and tuck more. Shift your weight to your right foot. Keep the hips level, draw the left foot up, and then take it back down. Reestablish the tuck, shift the weight to the left, draw the right foot up, and back down, reestablish. One more. Shift the weight to the right, draw the left foot up, and down. Big scoop, shift the weight to the left, draw the right up, and down. Scoop more, and release. Shake it out for a second. Deep, couple of breaths. And we're gonna come on over to our hands and knees again. Tuck the toes under and come up to stand. So we were just taking, we've done a bear crawl, we've done a spinal extension flexion crawl, and let's just take a lunge traveling across. So taking your hands, interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. We're gonna work in external rotation first. So you're gonna just slide forward, deep lunge, and then press down to draw the legs in. Sliding the leg forward, deep lunge, and coming up. At the bottom of the lunge, try to have your pelvis as upright as possible rather than leaning forward. Pressing out through the heels of the hands the whole time. Deep lunge and up. Taking that backward, lunging, and drawing front foot towards back foot. Deep lunge, and in this position, try to be committed between the legs. Scissor them together to draw back. And lunging back. And good. And deep lunge. And pressing off that leg. And so, Mia, at the bottom of your lunge, center your weight a little bit more. There you go. That's it. Good. And great. Nice, Chelsea. Keeping those shoulders right over the hips. Maintain that as you go back as well. So right here, think navel going back through you to the room behind you. Navel draws back through you. There you go. Really good. And okay. And that's it. And Ashley, I think you have a deeper lunge. I think you can give yourself a little bit more. Good. There you go. Yes. Okay. And complete your pass. And come to parallel. And rest. Okay. That was good. So very subtle tendency, and we'll come back to some backwards movement later, very subtle tendency for some of us to, in that moment, and it's hard to get that push without sending it through your trunk in a really visible way. So as I push off this front leg to draw back to the back foot, I'm going to try to narrow here. And I'm going to think about energy channeling through my navel to reach back. So it's almost that feeling. It's almost a punch in the gut feeling. Rather than letting the shoulders have this little bit of reverb, which is going to be just a little unnecessary wear and tear on a couple of my spinal joints. So as I press forward, I'm loading that front leg, and I'm going to engage to draw back. and pressing forward. Energy is going evenly forward and back in opposition. So a thing to think about when we return to this. Taking this action of flexion and extension that we were doing earlier into a lunge. So I'm going to lunge in parallel this time. Deep lunge forward. My left arm is going to be in opposition. Weight is on the right foot. Shifting myself up to the right foot into a small arabesque. And now I'm going to take flexion and extension, spin the arms, and deep lunge. Pressing off the back foot, pressing down into the front heel rather. Wow, I'm sticky today. And taking flexion, curling the knee towards the nose, weight on one leg, pressing down to lengthen out, and spiraling forward. So please join in, starting with right leg lunging forward, left arm in opposition. Deep lunge, and I'm going to press into your right heel to come to small arabesque, and then flexing, rounding in, pressing down into right foot to lengthen out. And next leg, big lunge, pressing down to come up, and taking my flexion, plie standing leg, and my extension, lengthening out, pinwheeling the arms, and lunge. And pressing down to come up, and taking flexion, and lengthen, extend, and lunge. Pressing down to come up, taking flexion, and extension, and reversing when you need to. Lunging back. So now taking the same pattern, but you brush from front to back. Flexing in, lengthening out, and deep lunge. And pressing into your arabesque, and flexing in, and lengthening out, and deep lunge. Thinking about that navel drawing through your midline. And flexing in, and lengthening out, and deep lunge, and pressing back. Taking this one more time, flexing and extending as you transfer your weight. Good. Really trying to get a sense of pressing down through the support leg to initiate the change of spine. What is your sensation in your abdominals if you really drive it from that? That looks nice, Emily. Try not to lean back as you go towards the lunge. It's subtle. Good. And at the bottom of the lunge, tracking the parallel of that knee a little bit more, Tara. So the front knee, front support leg, really keeping it driving into parallel. Right here, right here, right here. Pelvis upright, right thigh open. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good. Okay, and everyone rest. Questions? No. Jason's got a question. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My question is on the retrograde.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to move into a straight support leg, is that correct? Or are you creating a little bit of a bend and then a push?
I'm trying to move into a straight support leg.
Straight support leg and then extension.
Yeah, so that's also going to determine slightly the range of motion for the lunge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was playing with. I was like, I got really excited about that depth, and then it was like, come up a little higher for the hip flexors. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anybody else? Okay, great. So let's come now, thinking about getting the support leg a little bit more stable. We're going to take this action that we did earlier, walking out, finding the plank. So again, here, this is this opportunity to make sure that your back ribs are filling that space between your scapula. We're going to swivel And shift forward a couple of times. I'm going to talk it through right now, and then we'll do it together. And then I'm going to walk us back into our forward fold. Forward fold with me and walk yourself to a plank. From here, press down and find those shoulder blades nice and wide. Plie and swivel your hips to the right and shift forward. Plie and swivel your hips to the left and shift forward. Plie, swivel your hips to the right and forward. One more time to the left and forward. Plie, swivel your hips to the right. Pick up your right foot and then swivel forward, single leg. Right foot down. Plie, swivel the hips to the left. Pick up the left foot and parallel single leg plank, left foot down. Plie, swivel the hips to the right. Pick up the right foot and swivel back. Put the right foot down. Plie, swivel left. Pick up the left foot and back. Walk yourself back to both feet. Forward fold. Head hanging heavy here. Take your hips onto your, take your hands onto your hips. Keep the knees soft. Shift your weight to your right foot and pick up your left foot. Bring the left foot down. Shift your weight to your left foot and pick up the right foot. Bring your right foot down. Weight comes into right foot lifts. And down. Weight comes into left foot, right foot lifts. And down. Weight comes into right foot, left foot lifts. And take a moment here now to just notice if your pelvis is turned in or out. Bring the left foot down, take your weight into your left foot and lift your right foot. And down. Folding all the way forward. Walk yourself out again. Swivel your hips to the right and plie. Lift your right leg. Take your left hand up to the ceiling. Right leg is off the floor. And press off left foot to come back. Unthread the right leg. Plie left leg only and open the pelvis to the right. Right leg is off the floor, pushing away from right head. Right shoulder blade wide on the back. Press off the left leg and come back. Unthread the right leg. Two more on that side. Plie and rotate. And press off the left leg to come back. And one more. I'm going to show it from the side. One more. Plie and rotate. And I'm going to press off that leg to come back, unthread. Other side. Bring the right foot down and swivel the hips to the left. Lift the left leg and thread it through, open up. And press off the right leg to come back. And swivel, thread the leg through. Weight is in right heel. I have a lot of breadth in that left scapula, pressing off and back. Two more. Plie and rotate towards it. And launch off and back. One more. Plie and rotate towards it. And launch off and rest. From here, walk yourself back to your parallel forward fold. Shift your weight onto your right foot and lift your left foot up behind you. Head is heavy. Take the weight off the fingers. They can still trail on the floor. We're going to turn in on a standing leg. Keep standing thigh still. Left leg drops behind. Press into right foot and turn out. And turn in. And press into right foot and turn out. And again, turn in. And press into right foot and turn out. One more time, turn in. And press into right foot, turn out. Find center now, a place where you're neither turned in nor turned out. Drop your left foot right beside your right foot off the floor and roll your spine up to vertical. Extend right knee. Press down into right foot to get even more length in your spine. And then plie and soften into external rotation. Press down to come to parallel, nice and tall. Plie and turn out. Press down to find that vertical. Plie and turn out. And press down to find your vertical. And plie and turn out. Hinging at your hips, send your tail back. Flat back in external rotation. Close the door to come to parallel. Put your left foot down and fold forward. Walk yourself to a plank. From here, pick up your, walk yourself back to your left leg, pick up your right leg, and reach your right leg behind you. Turn your pelvis in, letting the right leg cross behind you. Pelvis fully rotates towards left leg, and then pressing down, turn out. Good, nice, Jasmine. And then keeping standing legs still, plie and turn in. And good, turn out. And keep the plie as you externally rotate, Ashley. Yeah, there you go. Turning in and turning out. And turn in and turn out. Everyone stay where you are. Take your weight back into that foot a little bit more and your left sit bone backing up a little bit more. Yeah, good. And now one more time with that arrangement of sit bone. Turn in and turn out. Square your hips now. Bringing right hip level with left. Good. And roll that foot, that knee forward, coming into a hovering parallel and come up to stand on right leg, left leg only. Good. Feel the hips level, press down, feel your height. And you're going to plie left leg as you find a first position, externally rotating. Good, Akira. And come back and up, pressing down to find your vertical. And plie and turn out. And down and up. Take your support leg sit bone back a little bit, Adrienne. Plie, turn out. And coming back and up. And don't let that support thigh move as you do this. So it might be a little smaller. Plie, turn out. That's it, that's it. Narrow that waist. Drop the chin, good. And press up. And now last one, plie and turn out. And take your sit bones back, fold forward in a flat back. Beautiful, Sarah. Really nice. And then from here, just close the door to bring that right foot back in and down. Fold all the way forward to walk yourself out to a plank. Good. And take your hips up. Rotate your pelvis to the right as you plie. And shift back out to your plank. And plie the hips, rotate your pelvis to the left. And shift back. Picking up your right foot, walk yourself back to the left foot. And center yourself over that foot. Take a moment here to notice if you can find that place where that sit bone is really reaching back. You've got that little commitment backing up in the support sit bone, the knee is in plie. From here, draw the gesture foot in, but not on the floor. You're in spinal flexion. Turn out, find flat back, and then release forward. Come back to parallel. Roll your spine and pelvis up to vertical, stay in plie, and hold here for a moment. Standing on that one leg, tuck your tail, and then release that, and then tip your pelvis forward, reach your sit bone way back, little lumbar hyperextension, and then release that. One more time, take a tuck. Notice what that does in terms of the sensation of your thigh, your knee, your standing foot. Release that. Where is your weight over your foot? And then take that little tilt forward. What does that do in terms of your hip, your thigh, your foot? Release that just to vertical. From here, fold forward again. Release your head and change. Bringing your weight to your right foot, lifting your left foot just up. You're in a deep forward fold. From there, take your external rotation, stable support flat, turning out left foot is off the floor if possible. And then lengthen to a flat back, sending that right sit bone back a little further, hips level. Fold forward, drape the spine a little bit more, and come back into your parallel. Curl your tail under, roll your spine up to vertical. We're going to check in with this hip joint here as well. So take a tuck, scooping the pelvis under, and then release. And then a little lift back and up with that sit bone as you take small spinal hyperextension, and then release. And take a tuck and release. And a little hyperextension and release. Noticing where your weight is on the foot through this. Fold all the way forward and bring the left foot down. One more time, lifting the right foot up and take spinal flat back extension here. So I'm staying in parallel and I'm going to flat back. I'm going to turn out now. And from my turn out, we'll keep that right foot off. Take flexion of the spine, keeping that sit bone moving back and up. And then lengthen to extension again. Come back into parallel and close, release all the way forward. Take your weight to your right foot, lift your left foot, and lengthen to your spinal flat back. Stabilizing thigh. You can bring your right hand to the outside of your right thigh if you want a little feedback about what's happening. Take that external rotation in your flat back, energy through crown of head. And then flex forward, stabilize that thigh still, releasing, draping the spine down. Lengthen out again, sit bone reaches back, flat back, and come back to parallel. Left foot down, roll all the way forward. Press into both feet, roll up to stand, peel the heels off in a parallel releve and lower. Take that again, shifting the weight forward slightly and peel the heels off and lower. Shifting your weight to your left foot, pick up your right foot and take a small releve, peeling the heel off and lower. One more time, hips stay as level as possible. Thinking about it like your heel is a sticker, just peeling it off the floor and down. Bringing your right foot down, shifting your weight onto it, lifting your left foot and peeling that right heel off the floor and down, noticing how this side feels compared to the other. And one more time, peeling that heel off the floor. Whoa. And coming down and parallel. We're going to take this one more time. I'm going to talk us through it. So roll all the way forward in your parallel, release your head down. And picking up your right foot, shifting your weight onto your left foot, staying in plie, find flat back, reach out through the crown of the head and reach your sit bones back. Good. Take your external rotation on that support leg, turning out in that flat back. Left sit bone up a little more, Akira. And fold forward, deep forward hinge, releasing your head. And then lengthen back up to your flat back. Lengthen through your sternum more, Akira. Yeah. And then close that door, come back to center, bring the foot down, release forward. And shifting your weight into your right foot, pick up your left foot. And taking your flat back, lengthening out through the crown of the head. Good. Really reach that right sit bone back even more, Jariana. And externally rotate, turning out, reaching through. A little more energy through the back of your neck, Stacy. And then from here, yeah, beautiful. Fold forward, soften over that support leg in external rotation. And then lengthening out, reaching right sit bone and crown of head away from each other. And close the door. And release down. Good. Roll all the way up to stand in parallel. And peel the heels off, taking a little releve. And down, noticing how the 2 feet like to work. And rolling up. One more time. And down. And shifting your weight to your left foot, picking up your right foot. Maybe bring a little pressure down into your hips with your hands and peel your left heel up. Draw those low ribs down a little bit more in front, Jasmine. So you get a little more length in your back, yes. And taking that little releve on that one leg, just whatever happens, like it's a sticker you're peeling off the floor and bringing it down, just being curious about this, what level of stability you can achieve in this moment. And one more on that same leg, lifting up. and down. And bringing the right foot down, and you're going to stand on the right leg and peel the right heel off the floor. And coming back down. Good, and peeling that heel off the floor. And down, and center, and rest. Great. Okay. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay. Any questions? Nope. Jason.
When you're doing this twist exercise, when you're extending, are you dropping your pelvis down to the ground?
Push away from your left hand. So extend that left leg and push. So swivel through. Now push your pelvis towards your right heel by pressing away from your left hand. Yes.
And then you're going out to plank.
To a single leg plank. So it might be a little more extended than you're in. Yep. So there you go. And pressing out.
Great dancing. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So thank you for asking that, because let's revisit that movement a little bit. Okay. So here we go. We're going to take this. What's the best angle for me to show this? Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, so I'm going to swivel here and take my right leg off. You can see here I'm pressing away from that hand. And then I'm going to come back around through, step that foot wide. I'm shifting into that foot to lift my left leg. I'm on a funny angle now. So we'll take this into an internal rotation as we shift and drop the head forward. Circle the arms up to come. Once you're about to hit parallel, you're going to take that leg into a rond de jambe, come forward, plie on standing leg, externally rotate. Then from here, we'll drop back down, sweep the arms, the hands come back, the leg goes back, and I brush through. So again, we've got this movement from earlier, pressing away from the hand. I'm going to load the left leg and dive it forward. Step that foot through, and I'm coming onto the foot. As I come onto the foot, my left leg internally rotates, and I fold down. From this position, I press up, reaching my arms back behind me into a deep twist, and rond de jambe at the top, plie, find my extension. Open on standing hip. So I'm driving that. I'm really driving that from my support leg, not from my adjuster leg going out. So support leg is going to take me open, and then I'm going to fold back, reaching back towards that foot on the way down. Then, so my chest is rotating to the right. My hands come back, step back, reach out. Questions? Okay. Let's begin. So I'm going to do the first two with you on this side, and then I'm going to come and check it out. So weight is on your hands, right leg lifts. Press back, swivel, thread the right leg through. Dive up and over the top, take that right leg wide to step out to the side. Shifting your weight, taking your chest to the right, internally rotate, drop your head. Lengthen through fingers and head as you press down. Coming up and over the top, you're going to take this rond de jambe, plie on standing leg, making sure that your pelvis is upright. Unambitious gesture. Turning out on standing leg. And then I'm going to let that revolve to reach back, turning chest to right, big rotation. Hands come down, left leg reaches back, right leg brushes, and then threads through. Up and over the top, and step down. Shifting your weight into that deep forward internal rotated fold. Lengthen, pressing down to come up, and taking your rond de jambe, and plie, upright pelvis. Turn out on support leg. Wide shoulders, arms not reaching behind you, staying in front. And turn your chest to the right. And hands sweep down, step back, and brush. And again, plie and swivel pelvis. Up and over, step that foot wide. Transferring onto that foot and internally rotate. pressing down to come up and finding your gesture, your parallel. Turning out on support leg and then carving the space as you rotate your chest to the right. Hands come down and brush right leg. And again, brushing that leg through, rotating your pelvis, left arm to ceiling. And unthread and step. Deep internal rotation, dropping head right, sit bone up, and then pressing down into the right foot to take that rond de jambe. Noticing any instability in support leg. And in your plie, right hip takes the turn out. Make sure it's not coming from your gesture hip. And plie forward. And stepping back. One more. And right leg steps wide. And you're in internal rotation, gesture leg is straight. From there, energy out through, that's it, Akira. Gesture leg reaches out to the side as you come up. And coming around. Finding that deep plie on your support leg. And from your right hip, good, Chelsea. And then turning your chest to the right. Bring your hands down, take your plank, rest. And any questions before we do the left side? Jeriana, you got a question?
No, I just did both sides.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to keep doing both sides. Kate did too. Sarah, you did too? Okay, so we had a lot of both sides. All right. My bad. We're going to do a few more though, because I wanted a little bit more for your first side. How are your legs feeling? Okay. Probably better than mine because I just did one side. So yes, Chelsea.
Question on stepping forward in the lunge. Are you slightly turned out or is it completely parallel before we go into the, like when we get onto one leg?
It is, yeah, it's a little bit turned out, okay. But the truth is then you're relating to that leg to find your parallel. Right. So it could be parallel and yeah.
Down here, but I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's also, if you wanted to step that in parallel, you could, and you would just work the same way because you're really, that becomes your point of reference, that hip joint.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
So everybody, now that I'm over here and watching with you, let's take each side one more time for me, okay? All right, so folding forward. Let's start with the left. If you didn't do, did anybody only do one side? Okay, all right, so we're in it for you guys now. All right, so we're gonna take this plank and rotating your pelvis to the left, lifting left leg, threading through, pushing away from left hand, and then diving back, stepping that left foot wide. Beautiful. And from here, shifting your weight onto left leg, hips are high, deep internal rotation. Using the energy through the fingertips and crown of head to help you come to vertical. Gorgeous. And plie, see if, Tara, you can have that left sit bone back just a tiny bit more. Your standing sit bone back. So your plie might be a little deeper. Yeah, and notice how that changes the relationship of support thigh and hip. Good. And turning out from standing hip. And forward and down. Good. And brushing back, repeating. Good. And Andy, see if you can drop the head just for a moment, and left leg is in plie as you push down to come up. Yes, energy through fingertips, left sit bone reaching back slightly in this plie. So using that to control the instability that may be arising in support leg. Good. And so we did 5 of these on the other side. So for those of you who are trying to balance out, that's what we're shooting for. And good. And extending left foot wide. That's nice. Good, Adrienne. And now that right leg is going to reach across energy through crown of head and through fingertips. Get a little tension in your distal points. Good. And pressing down to come up, letting it be about that leg, just beautiful, circling low and then high. Left sit bone back. Drop your sternum back and release, and release your chin down. Good. Good. And let's all embrace any instability. It's just information helping us to redirect ourselves. And Emily as well in that extension, right sit bone back slightly. And yep, so the leg can stay low. And everybody complete the repetition you're on and come to rest. Great. All right, how are you guys doing? How do you feel? Yeah, Jason, please.
Not like question today. When you are in the internal and the hip joint, well, I don't know if this is important, but are we going into internal rotation? Like is that important? Like what's happening here? Or am I just really focusing on this hip joint orientation? And then my other question is, if I'm here, if I am doing parallel, then is this leg becoming externally rotated to, like, I'm just like wondering if that even matters. I was going through my own like issues there on that. Like, when am I rotated? Because sometimes I was going, like, I'm externally and like I was playing, it was a little.
Yeah.
Love you, thank you.
Anybody else? And I'll address them all at once. Sarah, did you have a question?
No, that was my same question.
Okay.
The articulation of which hip when.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, great question, and let me answer it before we finish up. So the goal, what I'm shooting for here is, as I come onto, let me try to show it fairly flat for you. So as I come onto that leg, I'm in internal rotation. You can see my pelvis is turned in on my standing leg, attempting to drop my head as much as possible, though the more it is dropped, the harder it will be. Then from here, I'm lengthening my fingers and my head towards my support leg side. And as I come up, that press down is going to upright my pelvis, and it's going to begin to bring this gesture leg around, coming into parallel. So this is all parallel. And if I had started a little turned out, then that would just come around a little further until I found this parallel, which is more how I showed it the first time. Then from here, I'm going to turn out on my standing leg, just keeping this hip level with my support leg. Then, after that external rotation, then I'm going to let this go, move into external rotation even further as I fold. So I'm turning out more to then turn back in, rotate my chest, and then the hands sweep and I step wide. So it is internal rotation, and then that comes up and around to parallel. So it externally rotates just to parallel. Turn out more, fall, then sweep into that. Don't fall over like I did, but sweep into that internal rotation to then step wide and brush. Does that make sense? Did that answer those questions? Yeah, go for it.
Are you rotating this way, or are you coming up in this frontal plane? Do you want that, and then, you know what I mean, on the rotation,
on the up?
Are you coming that way, or are you coming this way?
So I'm doing both,
okay.
Is the unfortunate answer. I'm doing, so I'm here, and I'm going to begin by rotating to the back leg.
Yeah.
and then it's going to upright. So I'm not doing a full sweep around. Sorry, you can't see me. I'm not doing a full sweep around. I'm rotating towards the back leg, and then as my pelvis finds vertical, my arms find vertical as well. So it begins as a big rotation towards back leg, and then it ends by coming vertical. So it's this to this, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did that clarify? Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. It was so good to see all of you. I am going to really look forward to seeing you, I hope, next week, Tuesday, Friday. I'm going to stop the recording now, but I'm not going to close the meeting yet.